What's going on YouTube? James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. It's April 13th. Got some things done in the garden, so figured I'd give you guys an update, show you how things are coming along, give you an idea of what I planted, why I planted it, things like that. So what I did today was planted this patch right here. I flipped over the grass, put the grass side down, and then covered it with this topsoil, and then planted my seeds, then covered that with more of the topsoil. So what I planted here was this half is one variety of sweet corn, and then the other half is another variety of sweet corn. And amongst the sweet corn, I also planted cucumbers, especially heavily against the fence, so I can use that fence as a trellis. So cucumbers and sweet corn in the middle. And then on the borders, I planted yellow squash, and then also a few kinds of flowers. So I planted these all together because they're good supported species, companion plants, guilds, whatever you guys want to call it. And the cucumbers are good for the corn because raccoons typically like to come in here and take the corn, and the cucumbers are a deterrent for the raccoons. And also the corn provides a bit of shade for the cucumbers, which like a little bit of shade sometimes, so they help each other out. Then the yellow squash is bordering around here to protect the cucumbers also, because the raccoons don't like the yellow squash or any of the squashes because they have the pointy stalks. So that helps deter the raccoons also. Then I have flowers around the border, calendulas, marigolds, I think some zinnias, maybe some other kind of flower, I'm not sure exactly, I don't remember, but the reason for that is to bring in beneficial insects, to bring in pollinators, and to deter any kind of insects that I don't want, to kind of bring in a good balance. So that's what I do for all my beds. I always put borders of flowers, typically marigolds and calendulas. Those seem to be my favorites, the kinds that I have the most of. Over here, actually, also I planted this culture bed, beets along the top, and then some peppers over here and some eggplant, and then a bunch of tomatoes also throughout. And then I think that's about it over there. Also along the fence here on that culture bed back there, we planted cucumbers, which should do well. Then I also set up this bed back here, did the same thing, where I flipped the grass over topsoil, and then a heavy dosage of cucumbers so they can trellis up along that fence. And then I think some flowers also amongst in there to help out. This is one of the pear trees, ones that we've had here on the property. We never got that great of pears from it, so I think we might want to do some grafting onto it in the future because it's healthy, but the pears just aren't that great, or have to do something different with the pears. The birds seem to like it though, as you can see the one perching up there. You can see some of the peas coming up over here, planted in a row. My dog running around, he's not supposed to be in here because he's crushing the seeds, but anytime I make a video or something, he's always showing up, sniffing out. So there's also some peas back there. And then the trees are doing well. A lot of them are waking up. I'll show you some of the peach trees. Those are doing real well. And then also for the corn in here, I'm going to go in through and plant some peas or some pole beans that can climb up against the corn. But you don't want to plant those at the same time you're planting the corn, because the pole beans will outgrow the corn and shade them out. You want the corn to grow up to a decent height so that the pole beans won't be too far ahead of them, so they can actually grab onto the stalk. So I'm going to wait on that a little bit. Then this bed, I have planted a lot of cantaloupe and watermelon. Actually, in the front of this bed, that's also planted heavily with cantaloupe and watermelon. I figure they'll start in the culture bed and then they'll vine out over here, so they'll use extra space, but that'll be a good nutrient source and have a lot of water for them to pull water from and stuff. A lot of melons in here. Planted a bunch of cantaloupe and watermelon, hoping to get a better watermelon yield than last year. This is mostly tomatoes in here, but there's also watermelon as a ground cover. Also with the cucumbers in that bed, with the corn, the cucumbers will also provide a nice living mulch so the soil doesn't dry out too quick for the corn. So that'll help out. You can see the pink flowers on the peach tree over here, doing well. Some Some beautiful pink flowers about to open up. By tomorrow they'll be open. That's planted on this side of the hugelkultur mound, which is on contour, so the water comes down and kind of pools all evenly, but it gives a good spot for the peach tree to pull water from. Also that tree over there. Here's the thick mat of lettuce. Anything that gets sheeted out, I'll just come through and eat them as kind of microgreens, pull them. Same thing with the broccoli. You can see this lettuce over here, and then this is all broccoli over here. Same thing with the broccoli. I'll pull that out whenever and eat some of those as put in my salads and stuff. Lark's Garden actually told me to do that. Said I can eat the broccoli leaves and stuff, so I'm going to do that. Also, flowers planted through here. You can see borage, I think that is right there coming up. So good companion plants. That's another one I use a lot, borage. One of my favorites. Flowers for a while. And you can see the style I do here. It's not just one field, of just the same thing, but it's all in strips. Everything's in strips like this, thin, long strips, because that's kind of getting an edge effect, which is pretty big in permaculture. Bill Mollison talks about a lot how important the edge effect is. Getting different kinds of beneficial insects coming along the edges, that's where they always are, so having those two edges together is getting a nice balance of different insects, and edge effect really does well. It ends up giving you sometimes even double the yield you would get. That's what a lot of the permaculture people say. So other things are coming along. Strawberries are doing well. I still got to go through and weed a little bit, the initial weeding, but I wanted to get all my seeds in first. That was really my main concern. Some of the Santa Rosa plum. This Santa Rosa plum over here has already started putting out white flowers. That's doing well. Another peach tree over here. This one's doing alright. This one actually opened its flowers. There you go. Looks just beautiful. So, I figured I'd give you guys an update. Show you guys how things are coming along. Show you some of the work we got done. The comfrey is opening up over there, doing real well. And the comfrey also over here. This one looks a little more naked because I've been coming through and grabbing the comfrey plants when they're young and eating them. They're really good when they're young. They taste delicious, almost like a cucumber, but you can't eat them when they're older because they get like a little too, I can't think of the word, like stringy, and they're a little dried out, but when they're young, they're really supple and real good. So, just bring you guys an update, show you what's going on. I'll bring you guys along in a couple days or so, or whenever I feel I want to show what I've been doing. Any questions, guys, any comments, just let me know. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button. If not, tell me why you don't like something, and I'll maybe explain, or just take what you say into consideration, because I'm always learning things. This channel's to show some people and to inspire people, but also for me to learn too. Forever learning, That's one of my big concepts. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for following along. Give you a little shot of the Yara before I go. Thanks, guys. James Prizioni's out.